Alright guys, today we're going to be working on doing some germination for our hydroponics, and I'm just going to show you how I do that. So what you're going to need to germinate your seeds is some Rockwool Cubes. That's going to be our growing medium. Obviously you're going to need your seeds. We're going to be doing some lettuce, some Little Caesar lettuce, and sunflowers. And then you're going to need a container, and you're going to need to fill it with water. I'll show you how much here in a second. And we're going to need something to grab our seeds with, and I'll show you some methods for that. The Rockwool Cubes, you know, you can get them in all different sizes, but they come in sheets like this, and then I just take some scissors and cut down the lines. But you can tell that the openings aren't very big on some of these. It kind of depends on where you get them. Some are better than others, so sometimes you got to kind of open up the top of them a little bit. These have already been used once because I was trying to germinate some really old seeds and they didn't work out, so a lot of these have been used. Not really typical. Usually these are a one-time use thing. You can see these were started from a Rockwool Cube. Hard to kind of see it in there, but those are from a Rockwool Cube. And if I can get my roots back in there, get back in there, buddy. All of these were started in Rockwool Cubes, so when you start them from Rockwool Cube, you can just put them directly into the hydroponics, and they never use any soil. But the first thing we're going to do is take just some water, just regular tap water. There's no nutrients. You know, it does, room temperature. It doesn't have to be any certain temperature. And you're just going to put your Rockwool Cubes and just toss them down in there. Just like so. And get them all to where they're completely submerged in the water. And then we're going to wait a couple minutes, and just like a minute or two, not it doesn't have to be forever, just so they can get nice and saturated. Alright, so next we're going to take our seeds out of the package, however many we want. Probably more than enough. Then we have two options. We got our tweezers and our pick here. And so we take one of our Rockwool Cubes, and for this you can get it wet on the end and then just touch one of the seeds, if I can get it, and it picks it up like that. And then you can just put it right in the Rockwool Cube, like so. And then we set it down in our container here, just like that. And I've drained the water out to where it's only about halfway up the Rockwool Cube. And we just continue to do that until we get them all germinated, until we get them all put in the Rockwool Cubes. And then we'll set it where we want it. Now you can, if you're using older seeds, you can use 2, but these are brand new seeds, so I'm just putting 1 per Rockwool cube. If you're worried about germination, then you can double it up.
Palo. Pones en el hoyo. Don't take a video, eh? This is like a 2 or 3 sets. You can use. No.
Alright guys, so as you can see, we do have 2 different kinds of sizes here that I'm using. And there's no real particular reason for that. It's just what I have. But it is something to think about. I really like these 1.5 inch, which are the larger ones. The only real thing to think about when it comes to the size of these is that, you know, obviously the bigger the Rockwool cube, the longer it's going to hold its moisture. And the other thing is that just how is it going to fit into your net cup, because you really want, depending on what you're doing, you really want a larger Rockwool cube, because you want to cut down on using you want to use as little hydrogen as possible, because the hydrogen is very expensive, and so you want it to just kind of fill up and fit. That's why I like these. They fit snugly into my 2-inch net cups. They're 1.5 inch Rockwool cubes, and I don't really have to use a lot of hydrogen to cover the top to keep the sunlight out. So that's why I like using these. And the 1-inch ones aren't bad either. You know, they're cheaper. You get more for less, obviously. But they dry out really fast if you don't keep them moist, and they fit loosely in anything. They're just, you know, so small. So it's really up to you guys. I just thought I'd bring that up. And all these big ones that I'm using right now, I'm going to put these sunflower seeds in. And so to do that, I'm just pretty simple here. I'm just pushing them down in there like so, little sunflower seeds, just like that. So, alright, so there we go. We got our Rockwools with seeds all in them, and you can see here I've got about halfway up the Rockwool cube. I've got water in there, and the best thing what a lot of people will do is you'll cover this. If you don't have the lid for it, get you some just some clear wrap, and get you some something to just cover it up with, so that way you hold the moisture in there. And we'll come back and we'll check on this in a few days and see what we can get, see if we get our good germination or not. Alright guys, so we're about 2 days later, and a little less than 2 days. And what I've done is I've moved them out of my little plastic container, and I have this container here that I'm going to use for, you know, make a hydroponic station like this. But it's got a lid that's kind of recessed, so it works out perfect to just fill it with water, the recess, and then put all my seedlings that I'm trying to start. These are all zucchini that I'm trying to start, so I just did those today. And then you can see we've got all of our little lettuce plants. You know, almost all of them are sprouting. They're kind of hard to see, but pretty much all of them are sprouting up. And then we've got a couple of the sunflowers sprouting up too. So we'll check back in a few more days and see what we get. But obviously lettuce is pretty easy to germinate, and they all seem to be sprouting up pretty good. Alright guys, so we're about 5 days after putting the seeds in, and this is where we're at. We've got 30 lettuce seedlings that sprouted up and about 10 of them that didn't. And that's not really that great, honestly. It seemed like it is, but I guess it's good since we're trying to put one seed, which didn't work because we got doubles here, but kind of got stuck together or something. So we got about 75% germination. So what I did yesterday was I went back through these and put another seed in, and we'll just keep trying that way. 4 or 5 days hopefully won't make that much of a difference. We'll just plant them a little later. And that's if we have enough room. But basically this is where we're at. And then the other thing that I've made a mistake on is our sunflower. We have one sunflower that's sprouted up, and it sprouted up really good. And it was the only sunflower that I planted pointing up with the pointy side, because it's kind of got a pointier side and then a rounded side, one pointy in and one rounded in. And this was the only one that I put in the Rockwool for whatever reason. It wasn't intentional, but for whatever reason I only put one of them right side up, and that one was the one that sprouted. So I'm guessing that is a factor in why the other ones did not sprout up, or haven't sprouted up yet. I mean, it has only been 5 days, 4 days, whatever it is. So I took all these other ones out, and I couldn't see them sprouting any on the ones that I pulled out, and then I just flipped them over and put pointy side up. So hopefully that'll help them sprout. I don't know, we'll see. Might be one of them here. That one might be sprouting a little bit at the top, but it's kind of hard to tell really. So hopefully we get some more sunflowers sprouting. That one's definitely sprouting. It's starting to come open. So hopefully that makes a difference. That's just something to think about, I guess. Learning experience. Put them pointy side up if you're planting sunflowers in Rockwool Cubes. Probably doesn't matter when you plant them in soil. They'll find their way, but you can see this guy here, for only being 4 days old, 5 days old, he is taken off. And it's ready to transplant because it's got this nice big root growing out the bottom. So we're just about ready to start transplanting these into containers. Unfortunately, we have all these other ones that didn't sprout. But our lettuce, if we can find one here, some of our lettuce are starting to do the same thing. We're starting to get a little bit of root going through the bottom. So once you get those, once they all I'm going to give them a few more days. And we'll see if these sprout up too. But I want to make sure that all of them are showing roots through to the bottom. And I got to wait on some supplies anyway. So I'm just going to keep these guys in a little bit of water like I've been doing. Let them continue to sprout up for, I don't know, probably at least the rest of this week. Probably, maybe we'll do it later this week. We'll see. So we're about, like I said, 4 or 5 days into it, and we'll probably wait till a little over a week. So maybe like 8, 9 days before we'll transplant all these lettuce. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my one sunflower. That's going to be completely different than the rest. I'll have to find it its own container or something probably. So we'll see. And then we've got everything else is doing all right. We've got a bunch of flowers developing on our pepper plants here. Really starting to flower up. So, and our cucumbers getting bigger. So Hopefully that works out. We're getting some more flowers going. So all right, we'll keep on going and we'll check back in a few days. All right guys, so I'm going to make this the last part of my germination video, and we have our little lettuce plants here. 100% of them have sprouted up. They've all got roots coming out the bottom. And unfortunately, I only have a couple of my sunflowers, this being the best one. It sprouted up, you know, within 2 days probably. And look at it, it's huge. It's got a big old root coming out of the bottom. But like I said before, I think that a real factor with that was not pointing the seeds up. So that could have been it, because this is the only one that had the seed pointing up, and it's the only one that sprouted that fast. So we just have to wait. It's still only been 7 days. It says 7 to 14 days on the sunflowers for germination, so it's entirely possible that we could have just waited. But I went ahead and flipped them around, and we'll see. We got some sprouting up now. So I just wanted to end this video because I'm getting ready to plant these in my hydroponic system, and I'm going to have that in another video when I mix my nutrients. And I just wanted to show you guys we can get like this one. I don't know how it happened because I wasn't trying to, but we ended up with 3 seedlings in this one Rockwool cube. And so what you can try to do, if you have say a Rockwool cube that doesn't sprout, is you can take this seedling out when it's real young. They have to break these down to just one seedling anyway. So but what you can do is you can get one of these little seedlings like this out of here, like so, and take your empty Rockwool cube and just break it open from the middle like that. Just bust it open. And then you can lay your seedling in the middle of it, like so. You can see it there, yeah. Just lay it down in there, like that, and then close it back up. Make sure your seedling's high enough. Here. That was a little bitty one. And there you go, you got your little seedling that you saved. And that's just if you if you have the Rockwool cube that is not, hasn't sprouted, then why not try it? Because you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have to break it down to just one plant anyway. So that's what we did. So I think that's going to be about it for this one. Stay tuned for my other video. Watch me get to planting these in my raft system. And thanks for watching. I'm trying to make a video, Bella. What are you doing? Ow. Ow. That's my back. Ow. I'm not a shelf. Hello? Bella. Bella. No, 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 no.